Ну що, починаємо. Добрий ранок.
Good morning. Good morning, you all.
Добрий ранок.
Despite the weather, good morning. I'm very grateful to all of you who came, arrived, joined us, and will join our conference. Thank you so much to you all. In such difficult times when we live, we are respected by our patients, by our government, for our achievements, for our work. We highly respect each other, and we still have a desire to communicate with each other as we used to before. Each of us has teachers and professors, thanks to whom we were building our lives, we were getting our professional skills and knowledge. And let's now, maybe not in full, try to remember those prominent persons who made a great contribution to the education and to the growth and progress of our Ukrainian ophthalmology. Let's do this. The oldest research ophthalmologic institution in Ukraine was the Department of Ocular Disorders in Kharkiv, and it was headed and organized by Leonard Gilfman. He was then replaced by Samoilov. He was the chief of this department. His monographies on tuberculosis and also on neuro-ophthalmology can be found by you nowadays. Already in 1930, the Ukrainian Research and Development Ophthalmology Institute was organized in Kharkiv, and well-known Professor Rabkin was first director of that institute. Then he was replaced by Professor Mikulov, and he was also the rector of that institute, and Mikulov was the first who started to study thoroughly the neuro-ophthalmology. Today in Kharkiv you can see well-known persons, Besitka, near him Panchenko, Dervin, chief of the Department of Kharkiv Medical Academy of Post-Graduation Education, and others. Speaking of our capital, Kiev, let's start with Kiev. There, the School of Ophthalmologists was founded by Karavayev. He was a prominent person. He was a Pirogov student, and he was the first who started removing lens by dissecting the cornea. As before him, the reclination was applied. Then the department was achieved after him by Alexander Ivanov. He is a world-known person due to his scientific research and developments. Then Professor of Ocular Disorders was Hodin. He founded well-known journal of ophthalmology. It was published in Kiev for 20 years and then after in Moscow. He was replaced by Alexander Shimanovsky. You know, and history experts know Shimanovsky as a very brave and talented surgeon. Then, many people remember Fekhfekhvalny and Oscar Lvovich, and he also worked in Kiev at the Department of Ocular Disorders, and then only in 1955 he was invited to Dnipropetrovsk. Josip Lvovich, here in Ukraine, is a founder of social ophthalmology, and you all know his students and his works. Then, Vitaly Arkhangelsky, who was the chief of the Department of Ophthalmology in Kiev at the university. Maybe someone of you saw his atlas. What I can say personally, it is not only the science, but as I think it is also kind of art. Professor Shevelov is also a Filatov student. He also chiefed the Department of Ophthalmology in Kiev at the Professional Advancement and Ophthalmology Institute in Kiev. He was famous due to the transplantation of sphenoid duct, on corneal researches, and he's a very well-known scientist, and many people know his works in Kiev and in Odessa. To 1983, the department was headed by, at the medical university in Kiev, it was headed by Tatiana Shlipak. She was also a Filatov student and worked for some years at the institute. She was a prominent public person, and she worked on trophic retrovascular. She was dealing and she was studying the trophic revascularization, choroid revascularization, glaucoma, in retinal dystrophia, and she is also my professor. To year 2008, Mykola Sergeyenko was a chief of the department at the National Medical Academy of Postgraduation Education. We all know that Mykola Markovich, he is a founder, and he designed the concept of eye refraction. We know his monographies. He designed his intraocular lens. He was one of the authors of the first in the world aberrometer. And at his initiative, the Eye Microsurgery Center was founded, and we were very proud of it. Nowadays, at the National University of Healthcare of Ukraine named Shupik, the Department of Ophthalmology is chiefed by Sergei Rykov. For his life, due to his work, due to his efforts, how he worked a lot, and we were very proud of him, and we very grateful to him. He founded the microsurgery of eye center, and due to his efforts, children ophthalmology was developing, and that's not all. And still, children ophthalmology still exists and remains as such. Near him, you can see Professor Mogilevsky. Department of Ophthalmology at the National Medical University is headed now by the son of Zhiboyedov, Gennady Zhiboyedov. You know all of them, you know him well. Near him, Skripnik. We respect so much and we remember a very prominent and talented ophthalmologist who works at the National Research Center of Radiation Medicine, Fedirka, Professor Fedirka. Speaking of the Odessa school, in Odessa, the first department was headed by Golovin. He was a student. He was a student of Professor Miklakov. After him, in 1911, Vladimir Filatov was a chief of the department, and his achievements were revolutionary concerning his elaborations in the plastic surgery. You all know, thanks to Filatov graft, now it is applied, and this method exists and is practicable and no alternative to it. Vladimir Petrovich was a student, and he was then first interested in the corneal transplantation. In 1912, he performed the transplantation of the cornea for the 11-year-old boy. And what to say, since 1912 till nowadays, there is no alternative to this method, which was designed and which was implemented by Vladimir Petrovich. The Institute of Ocular Diseases was created due to the efforts of Filatov on the 4th of April 1936. Now it is 85 years today. Our university is to be 85 years. The Ophthalmology Journal, which was created in 1946, as well by the academician Filatov, today we support it and we are to promote it and to develop it further. For his long life, the academician Filatov educated many prominent scholars and researchers. Some of them you know, and we will remember always them: Trotsky, Puchkivska, Obonin-Sinetska, Skripnichenko, and many others. For his achievements and explorations, finally, as I understand, Filatov is included to the list of world ophthalmologists, world prominent ophthalmologists, and he was acknowledged as not just prominent, as great ophthalmologist in the world, and we were very proud of it. It was a great celebration for us. He deserved it. After his decease, for 29 years, as I remember, the institute was headed by Puchkovska. Her works on transplantation of cornea, on surgical treatment of severe burns, and other problems and topics an organization of ophthalmological aid to the population. She made a great contribution to this as she was a prominent public person. She participated in creating first domestic lasers, and we have such one now. And it should be mentioned about Professor Linig, and he was the first who performed the laser retinal coagulation, and he also made a great work on setting minor laser dosages. After Nadia Alexandrovna, Professor Lagaev was director of the institute, and he did a lot. He made lots of developments and designed lots of devices and magnets, and he worked a lot in the matter of traumas and very severe problems. And please have a look. Nowadays, Filatov Institute is really to be 85 years. And we continue our work. We work, to be honest, hard. And I should say that the government noted this, paid attention to the work of the Institute, and you can see that this year we are to finish the construction of a new campus, and it's very wonderful, and next year we are waiting for you, and we are to have a meeting there, to have our conference. We invite you to come there. In Ukraine, we cooperate with many institutions like scientific, practical, educational institutions. What to say? For 85 years, my students, this data is not official, but my students tried to calculate how many students visited the Institute for 85 years, and the result is more than 20 million. Will we check this data? Maybe no, but it shows a lot. Our colleagues participate in many conferences, in interregional conferences, and we try to keep our communications with other regions, with ophthalmologists all over Ukraine. Our colleagues, scientists, got 3 people this year were awarded by the government for their developments and for their designing diagnostic methods, PTSD methods. Diagnostic methods for post-traumatic stress disorders. It is very important today. Our young scientist Gritsenko was awarded by the president for his research and development works. In the leading journals and magazines, we are awarded with the first places for our development, research and development, and our elaborations in the corneal problems. Concerning our international communications and relations, the Institute, in terms of the artificial cornea problems, we work with many scientists in Switzerland and Mexico. We cooperate with many scholars and doctors in Germany, in Switzerland and in Israel. we conduct our work on researching various peculiarities of ocular disorders with China, with India. I hope that we will be enough with power, and our young scientists, doctors, also will strive for working with us, for studying at our institution, and that we are to grow and to develop. I would like to wish, first of all, and please have a look at these faces, our ophthalmologists. We are very proud of them. We communicate with them and we live with them together. I want so much to wish you to be healthy, to have a good work, to have the best, everything best for you. And first of all, stay healthy. Thank you so much for your attention.